All right.
Thanks once again to the Sequoyah High School Junior ROTC.
Here in the War Lodge, the last game of the regular season in Sequoyah. The Lady Chiefs of Sequoyah rolling, playing host to the Riverwood Raiders. I'm Max Swain, joined to my left by Will Hogendijk. I think one story we definitely need to follow is Sequoiah's vicious defense. They've really confused teams all season with their full court press.
Yeah, most definitely, and that's something that they did very well against Riverwood last time they played. Last time they played was January 11 at Riverwood. Sequoyah ended up winning that one 56-30, and they did a great job of doing that press. Ellie Blatchford and Aaron Jackson had multiple fast breaks because of that press where they were able to get easy buckets.
Yeah, definitely. And also, one thing that we didn't mention is the freshman Melania Abdus-Salam was out last game against Cambridge, but we saw her have a huge game against Creekview. So what do you think her being back will have an impact on Sequoyah?
Well, yeah, you're definitely right. We haven't called her name for a while, but, I mean, she's that physical presence. When Captain Barber needs to take a seat, Abdus-Salam is right there. She's able to get rebounds and be very physical down low and a real playmaker.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a Sequoyah team, second in region, sitting at 17-6. Riverwood 8-15, fifth in 6A Region 7. Last game, Riverwood beat Johns Creek 55-42, ending their two-game losing streak. And now here we head down to the court for introductions.
Number 13, a senior, Aaron Jackson. Number 24, a senior, Amy Singh.
And it is your normal starting five for the Chiefs: Jackson, Singh, Blatchford, Rogers, and Taft and Barber.
Number 32, a senior, Susan Rogers. And number 40,
Last regular season home game for Rogers, Barber, Singh, and Jackson. Has to be some emotion rushing through their minds now. But the girls getting ready to go back onto the court to start this one off.
Yeah, you know, Max, something that we mentioned a little bit earlier is how this is their last home game, but it's not going to be their last game. They still have one more at Johns Creek on Tuesday, and then both of the Chiefs basketball teams, girls and boys, are going to be in the playoffs, so there's a lot to look forward to for both of those programs. Although this will be the last home game, it's not going to be the last good game.
Definitely. And we head down to the floor now for the tip. Riverwood versus Sequoyah. And Jackson easily gives it to Blatchford. Riverwood has gotten 63% of their wins while being on the road. See if they can continue that streak now. But a beautiful pass from Rogers to Jackson to the goal, and she puts it in. Quick score for Jackson, who's trying to get into the 1,000-point club a little bit late in the season.
And that's just that chemistry that we see so well from Sequoiah's starting five.
A pass to Gale, and she shoots a long three. That is no good, and it tipped off to Blatchford. Pushing up the floor, past defenders. And hers bounces off the rim, rebounded by Amara Carter. McGrath, the 13 points per game leader for Riverwood, passes it to Hannah McConnell, who is caught for the travel. Turnover, gives the ball to Sequoyah.
And that starting five for the Riverwood Raiders will be number 3, Jasmine Green, number 5, Lizzie McGrath, number 11, Amara Carter, number 23, Amaya Gale, and then number 30, Hannah McConnell.
Singh gives it back to Jackson, who goes for three, and that's off. But Rogers gets the rebound. Blatchford for three. That's off the back of the rim. Shots not falling early for the Chiefs, but Rogers puts it through. Good series of rebounding right there for the Chiefs.
And that's a good job from the Lady Chiefs sticking with it. Since you don't get it on the first try, keep trying, and Rogers was able to put that in.
And there's that defense. We continue seeing trap after trap by the Lady Chiefs. A long three for Lizzie McGrath. Bounces off the front of the rim and rebounded by Jackson, who leads the team with 5 rebounds per game. Singh to Jackson, and hers is no good. That's going to go out of bounds and give Riverwood the ball. 6:29 left in the first quarter.
And you know, Max, along with the press, another thing Sequoyah did very well against Riverwood is something that they've done well all season. That's just spreading the ball. I mean, we saw Bellinger, Blatchford, Davies, and Rogers, among others, all get nice threes in that last game.
And a cross-court pass intercepted by Singh, and Rogers' three is good.
And there's Rogers with her three, and that's the exact same spot she hit it from when she was at Riverwood.
And Head coach Jackson for Riverwood calls a timeout. That was a big opening 7-0 run by Sequoyah, Will.
Yeah, definitely. And on the January 11 game, Riverwood came out to a 7-3 early lead. So Sequoyah getting out to a lead first, that's good for them to hear. And I think something that Riverwood, or something, a key to the game for Riverwood is that if they can get more rebounds, they might be able to get a footing in this game. They average more rebounds per game than Sequoyah does. So if they can start being aggressive on defense and offense, then they could give Sequoyah a run for their money here.
Great point. Jasmine Green going to bring the ball up for Riverwood. Gives it to McGrath, who's trying to work her way up the floor. Pass to Gale in the corner. Gives it back to Green. The Raiders looking for something. McGrath guarded heavily by Rogers. And it's tipped by Blatchford. Out of bounds, remains Riverwood ball. They're trying to get something going, but this defense is clobbering them right now.
Yeah, Sequoyah has been doing a good job of sticking to their man, and we've seen a couple missed threes by Riverwood early, haven't able to get many good looks.
McGrath being pressured, but they get it into Amar Carter, who gets it tipped out of her hands and results in a turnover.
And that was a good double team by Taft and Barber and Aaron Jackson on Green.
5:44 left in the first. Rogers bringing up the floor. Gives it to Jackson, who has 2 points so far. But gives it to Rogers, the hot shooter right now with 5. Back to Jackson for 3. Can't put that one through either. And Green is pushing it, but gets her pocket picked by Rogers. An attempted overthrow is out of bounds. And that's going to be a little miscue there early by the Chiefs.
Yeah, but that's just more good defense by the Chiefs early. Unfortunately, Rogers' pass wasn't able to quite get Blatchford. Blatchford did have a couple players on her, but still nice defense.
And Smith was looking for McConnell. He gets tipped by Jackson. The Chiefs end up with it. Rogers gives it to Jackson. Cross court to Rogers, who looks inside for Barber. It's going to be tipped out by Taylor Goldman, the senior. Rogers passes it into Blatchford. Right back to her in the corner for 3. And that can't go through.
And the rebound will be snagged by Lizzie McGrath.
Yeah, McGrath now passes it into the corner. Attempted 3 by Green. No sound. Cross-court pass to Singh, but she gets packed by McGrath.
Big block there by McGrath, and that's Riverwood's third missed 3 on their offensive side, and there's another missed layup for them.
Plenty of attempts for Riverwood to get some points on the board. None of them have been converted as the Chiefs maintain their 7-0 lead. Singh has the ball up top, thinks about the long 3, decides against it. Rogers guarded by Goldman, gets screened. The shot is no good.
And that's Rogers' third shot from that spot already tonight. So if Riverwood can recognize that, they might be able to contain her.
And McGrath is trying to do everything she can, being guarded by Blatchford, but gets called for a carry there. She's a great player for the Raiders. She leads the team with 13 points per game and a great point guard that Riverwood has. Rogers fights against some Raiders. Gets the ball back out as Davies kicks it out to Rogers. And her shots aren't falling, but Jackson has the rebound. It gets taken away. Blatchford gets the rebound. Rogers decides against shooting. Hasn't made a shot in a while, but Blatchford for 3. And that isn't falling either. No shots falling early for the Chiefs. This could be the time for Riverwood to really get into this ball game.
Yeah, it's been 7-0 since that last time out by Riverwood. Neither team able to put it in the basket. Both teams have been getting some good looks, though.
Some good passing by the Chiefs. Gaddis to Davies to Rogers, who nails the 3 from outside, and she's back on. Leads the team with 8 as Riverwood gets their pocket picked, and Rogers driving again. An assist to Blatchford, and another timeout by Riverwood.
And that was a great little sequence there. We saw Rogers with the wide open three, and then Davies was actually able to get that, able to pick Riverwood's pocket there, and then Rogers just doing what we've seen her do all season long, is just be that playmaker for the Sequoyah offense, find the open passes and get it to him, and then Blatchford was able to put it in for an easy 2.
Definitely. Well, I say we give some appreciation to our sponsors.
Absolutely, Max. All right, so at our gold level, we have Beto's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus. Down to the gray level, we have Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Insight Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture. And then down to the white level, we have Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River.
So we definitely saw lots of missed opportunities for Riverwood there. Sequoyah didn't score for, you said since the timeout, so probably about 3 minutes. Yeah, Riverwood kind of missed an opportunity there.
I think it was about 3 or 3.5 minutes there. So to get those quick 5 points before Riverwood's next timeout is definitely good for Sequoyah.
Here's McGrath trying to get the ball to the floor for Riverwood. They break the press, but guarded heavily in the corner by Jackson and Gaddis. Jackson tips it out. Riverwood ball in their corner. Green going to inbound it. Chiefs going in man. But they get the steal, another one. But McGrath with the steal. She falls out of bounds. Just shows the effort Lizzie McGrath constantly puts into this game.
And Max, McGrath on Blatchford is definitely going to be the matchup to watch tonight. Both lead their team in points. Blatchford with 16.8 and then McGrath with 13, as you had said. And then both lead their team in steals as well with 3.2.
McConnell using her long arms there to get a steal. And Riverwood still trying to get on the board with 2:25 left in the first quarter.
And that's something we'll see McConnell doing a lot. She's 5'10", so she's big for a girls basketball player, but she'll use that wingspan.
3 for Green is good.
Riverwood finally gets something to follow. They were 0 for 3. Now they're 1 for 4 on threes with their first 3 points of the game.
And Jackson throws it out of bounds. A little miscommunication there between between the two seniors, Rogers and Jackson. As McConnell goes for 2, and that's overshot. As now the Chiefs trying to get something going once again. Finds Rogers for 3, and that is good. She nails it from outside the arc. Leads the team with 11 points.
Boys, Rogers feeling it tonight, already in double digits with 1:50 left to go.
McConnell this time nails the teardrop 2. Her second attempt from mid-range goes in. As now Riverwood's press is starting to get Sequoyah into a little bit of trouble. And they're starting to panic as Gaddis turns the ball over. Oh, Jackson had all ball, it seemed, and the call was on Rogers for the foul.
And a little bit of a momentum shift here in this first quarter. I know you had said it well. Sequoyah is starting to panic a little bit. That pass, there was nobody in that vicinity, so Sequoyah maybe getting a little worried here.
Yeah, that was the second errant pass we've seen this game. And really because Riverwood's full court press, or kind of 2/3 press, has caused Sequoyah to kind of get confused as Jasmine Green makes her first free throw. 15-6 is your score. 1:28 left in the first quarter from the War Lodge. Aaron Jackson out of the game now. Addison Gorley in for Sequoyah. As Green's second free throw attempt goes in. 15-17. Well, 15-7, pardon me. Davies thinks about the 3, but is trapped in the corner. Cross-court pass to Blatchford, out to DeMero. Gaddis to Blatchford for 3, and she sinks it. 18-7.
And that's something Riverwood can't afford to do, is leave Sequoyah's best shooter wide open like that. She had all the time in the world there.
Another mid-range for McConnell. This one is, once again, too much as DeMaro's trying to push it. Finds Blatchford, and Gaddis for 3, thinks about it. Blatchford for another 3, and this one can't fall. But a good physical rebound by Davies is turned over once again to Riverwood. And Green is trying to set up something for the Raiders. Gives it to McGrath, who has 2 points so far. Finds Green in the corner for another 3 attempt. This one, nothing but net, but not through the rim. 15 seconds and rolling for this first quarter as Davies attempts a 3. That is overshot. 7 seconds with Green trying to get something going. Out of bounds on Sophia DeMero. And Riverwood has the ball on their side of the court with 4 seconds left. Into Green. Shot by McGrath for 3 is tipped. And that's going to end the first quarter. 18-7 is your score. Sequoyah pulled out early 7-0 and went on an 11-7 run, much closer than the first about 4 minutes, Will, but it seems that Sequoyah has real control if they get past that Riverwood press.
Yeah, for the first part of the first quarter, Sequoyah did look like the better team. They came out to an early 7-0 jump. Didn't get any points. Neither team got any points for about a minute and a half there, just trying to figure each other out still. And Max, yeah, Riverwood is doing a good job of the press. I mean, we thought usually that's Sequoyah's area of expertise, but Riverwood kind of giving Sequoyah a little bit of their own medicine, and it's working out pretty well. Sequoyah's still in the lead here, but Riverwood's definitely figuring them out a little bit more than they were.
Yeah, definitely are. Rogers leads the team with 11 points for Sequoyah as Riverwood scores more spread out. Green with 3, McGrath with 2, and McConnell with 2.
And you know, Max, we mentioned that Sequoyah has already played Riverwood.
She wants to get to that 1,000-point club mark, so she might be seeing a lot more playing time, maybe the full game. As McGrath's ball is tipped by Blatchford. And that as Rogers is double teamed by Green and Smith. 2v3 on the other side of the floor. And Blatchford and Rogers trying to do something while Blatchford is fouled by McGrath.
High scores on the field right now. Rogers with 13. A big first quarter there. Had her at 11. And then Riverwood is number 5. Lizzie McGrath at 4.
Jackson for 3. And that's off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Hannah McConnell, the 5'10 sophomore. Taryn Smith finds McConnell. A physical dribble, but the shot is off the backboard. Blatchford finds Jackson, thinks about the 3. Instead drives, gets her pocket picked by McGrath. For the Chiefs to reset, Rogers finds Jackson down low, and she banks it in. A prime example of more connection those seniors have with amazing passing.
Yeah, and also a prime example of Rogers' good playmaking skills. After Jackson had fallen down, the Riverwood players kind of forgot about her, and then Rogers just threw it back to her for the bucket.
A great defensive play by Tafton Barber results in a fast break bucket for Ellie Blatchford as she's up to 7.
And again, that's Rogers on the assist, so 3 assists already for her.
And she leads the team with 5 assists per game, and she's having a great game thus far. Blatchford, another steal as the Chiefs are piling more on. And 1.
What a move from Blatchford, 360, and just kind of looked like she just threw it up, and she was able to get it. And you know, Max, this is something that we talked about pregame. Sequoyah did a really good job of the press last time they played Riverwood, and it looked like Riverwood was kind of playing their own game against them, but Riverwood looking a little lost so far in the second quarter with 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go. They've only scored 2 points, so Sequoyah's starting to pull ahead in this one.
Yeah, with 4:14 left. That shot almost looked like she was just not even looking at the goal, just kind of chucked it up there, but as we're talking, Milani Abdus-Salam has entered the game for the Chiefs, so the freshman back from being out due to sickness.
And she'll take Tafton Barber's place in the paint. And Davies as well checking in, as well as Gaddis and DeMaro.
After Blatchford's free throw is nailed, Riverwood now trying to break the press. Davies applying pressure. Great job by Goldman breaking the press though. And Green sees an open lane. Instead kicks it back out to Goldman. McGrath finds Green for three. It is not Green, as Diamaro is guarded by Smith. Gaddis almost stolen by, a little miscommunication there. Davies gets the ball and is fouled on the way up by Sydney Sanders.
And that's the second defensive play, or not defensive play, physical play that we've seen Sailor Davies make in the paint. She got a rebound earlier. And Max, I think to go back to something that you were saying earlier, of the starting five, only one of those is on the floor right now, and that's Aaron Jackson, still trying to get into the 1,000-point club. All the other starting four are on the bench right now.
Davies makes both free throws, as that is Saunders' first foul of the game. Goldman trying to break the press, still being heavily applied. Just past the fingertips of Gaddis's fingers was the pass, but it's packed by Salam. The high shot is no good, and Gaddis gets the rebound, and Smith, the shooter, a little bit of an aggressive foul there after her miss.
And Max, that's what Sequoyah missed in Abdus Salam, those big blocks in the paint.
Exactly right. Her physicality is, Chase said, he just loved her physicality, loved the way that she played the game. And we're going to have her for 4 more years.
And with a 6-foot frame, that's easier than most girls.
Definitely. Gaddis, pass blocked by McGrath, who's having a great defensive game. And Jackson nails the three, looks down the crowd, and she is up to 10.
Yeah, that'll get her to 10 points. So Rogers and Jackson both in their last regular season home game already in double digits.
And Green finds an open Goldman, who gets on the board for two, and it's 35-11 with 2:42 left in the second.
And those 2 points are a nice break for Riverwood. They haven't scored any since I'm not even sure when in this second quarter. That's only their 4th points of the second quarter, so Sequoyah is really pulling ahead here.
Yeah, a 4-point quarter right now for Riverwood. They normally score 42 points per game. Sequoyah has the ball now with 2:21 left in the second, as it's tipped out by Saunders. And Sequoyah will have the ball under their own goal. Addison Gorley now goes in for Jackson, so Jackson some well-deserved rest. And Diamaro going to inbound it for the Lady Chiefs. Pass up top to Gorley. Inside Abdus Salam, a physical move against Saunders, and another example of how good of a player Abdus Salam can be.
Yeah, using her 6-foot frame on both sides of the court with a nice block and a nice layup over the head of a defender.
And the pressure continuing to be applied by the Chiefs as they get another steal.
That's Addison Gorley on the steal, who will pass it over to Davies.
Davies fumbles with the ball for a second. Gets a pass back to her by Gorley. Gorley sees Abdus Salam once again on Saunders, and she can't put it through. Oh, Diamaro called for the foul. A push. Block on McGrath. And some subs coming in for the Chiefs. Bellinger, Rogers, Blatchford, and Singh coming in. Gaddis, Abdus Salam, Diamaro, and Davies coming out. So Gorley, Blatchford, Rogers, Bellinger, and Singh in now with 1:40 left in the second. 37-11 is your score with 1:35 left in the second quarter in the War Lodge in the last regular season game, last home regular season game for the Chiefs. McConnell fouled on the way up. Good game for her so far.
Yeah, I was just going to mention something about McConnell. We've seen her, or we saw her with that little teardrop two-pointer inside the arc, and she's tried that shot a couple more times, but also had some nice drives to the basket. None of them been able to get her a foul except for this one, so that's good for her to see. Only 2 points on the board so far, but she's been having a game that maybe isn't reflected on the score sheet.
Yeah, definitely. She's continuously shot the ball, continuously driven. Her effort is definitely being displayed as she makes her face. but we're getting that blessing tonight.
Yeah, usually it's one or two of them at a time, but to see all three at once is definitely special, especially when two of them, this is going to be their last regular season game of their high school career, so that's good to see.
Yeah, the last regular season game at home. Definitely some thoughts going through their heads as we're starting the second half off now. Chiefs have the ball. Rogers worked on by McGrath. A great screen by Tafton Barber is set, but Rogers not enough on that one. As Sequoyah. Foul going to be, pardon me, not on Sequoyah. Foul going to be on Riverwood. Amaya Gale, that is her first foul of the occasion. And Rogers inbounds it to Jackson. Rogers, once again, another corner three. Off the front of the rim, clangs off, and that's going to be Riverwood ball. McGrath guarded by Rogers, who gets it to Green. A shot by Gale. Ricochets off the back. And McGrath loses control. Blatchford calling for some movement, and Rogers comes to her. Looking cut by Singh. But Blatchford escapes it to Davies, to Damara, who sees the opening Abdul Salam, but the pass is just out of the reach of Milani Abdul Salam's fingertips.
And with that Sequoyah starting five getting subbed out, except for Blatchford, we get to see that Abdus Salam on Saunders matchup once more.
Another three by McGrath. Ricochets off with 3:28 left in the third quarter. Gaddis with a 2-point jumper falls out as Green gets fouled on the rebound by the freshman Abdus Salam. 45-18 is your score in the War Lodge with 3:18 left.
So far in this quarter, Sequoiah's only scored 4 points and Riverwood with just 3, so a quiet half thus far, but both teams playing pretty evenly, and I think that's why.
Another three by McGrath, and this one tiptoes in.
So McGrath will slide into the 10-point marker. That's got to be good news for Riverwood.
Recovered by Gaddis. Blatchford for a short jumper, and hers doesn't fall, but Gaddis's layup bounces out. And some early miscues and mistakes by the Chiefs in this third quarter.
And Addison Gorley's going to get subbed in for Blatchford. Blatchford going to get a well-deserved rest. So it'll be Davies, Gorley, Abdus Salam, Gaddis, and Damaro on the court for the Lady Chiefs.
Davies to Gorley, whose three can't go through as the Raiders trying to break this press and this defensive pressure, but Gorley almost gets the steal, but Green with an aggressive drive, and she gets fouled on the way up. Jasmine Green going to the line, fouled by Milani Abdus Salam, her second of the evening.
And you know, Max, Green has played a pretty physical game as well. We haven't seen her get any points other than that early three that she had for Riverwood. But she has played a physical game, getting some good drives on the offense.
And Green finally gets on the board after about a quarter of silence. Yes, you're right. She definitely did have a big presence on the floor. A great point guard directing traffic. She finally gets well-deserved points, up to 4 as she attempts her second and sinks it. And she gets subbed out for Taylor Goldman. Green up to 5 as she heads to the bench. Chiefs now breaking the press. A long pass to Gorley, who gets it to Salam, and her layup isn't good, but Gorley makes up for it. Some missed layups here as we're nearing the end of the third with 2:15 left by the Chiefs.
You know, it's nice to see that Gorley was there, but frankly, that's a layup that Abdus Salam shouldn't have missed. She was right under the basket with nobody on her, but it's good to see that the Lady Chiefs are still able to cash it in.
And great physicality by Callie Gaddis to get her hands on the ball there. Gaddis and Gorley combined for a steal, and Gorley breaks away. Foul was on, I believe, Goldman.
And Rogers and Jackson are going to check into the game for Gaddis and Abdus Salam. Davies, Damaro, and Gorley remaining on the court.
Davies driving on Cornfield, kicks it out to Gorley, whose three clangs off, but Davies going to be called for a push. And Kornfeld going to get subbed out now for Jasmine Green, who's going to be our inbounder. With 1:55 left in the third, Sequoyah up by 24. As they haven't scored, they have been outscored by Riverwood thus far in the third quarter. McConnell back in the game now for Riverwood as she's going to drive on Jackson, and hers tips in.
You know, Max, we talked a lot about physical drives, and I think as far as Riverwood goes, Hannah McConnell has had quite a few of those, and that's what we saw right there to get Riverwood a couple more points.
And it seems as though Riverwood is kind of playing that game where they're being the team that's more physical going to the goal. However, it's the Sequoyah defense isn't allowing many attempts for them to go to the goal. They're just trapping very early on possessions and getting easy turnovers before they even have a thought of going to the basket. Rogers now inbounding for Sequoyah. And Jackson putting a move on McGrath. Kicks out to Gorley, who tomorrow drives, kicks out to Davies in the corner. Ricochets off the back, and that's going to be a turnover. McGrath pushing up the floor. Gorley attempts to charge. The charge screen does not get called, though.
There's another physical drive, this time from McGrath, and that'll put her at 12 points.
And after a kind of errant pass by Jackson, and the charge queen gets another. Addison Gorley tacks another one onto her count for the season. We've seen it countless times from her this year, getting charge after charge. As she gets subbed out, a well-deserved rest after getting pushed to the floor.
You know, on the last drive, we didn't see her get it, but the fact that she's willing and able to take that hard fall to the ground just is a testament to her strength and physicality.
With 52 seconds left in the third, the stoppage of play, as I think the score might have been wrong. Something on the scoreboard. Chiefs up by 20, and they have the ball. Bellinger thinks about the three. Shot clock is at 15 as Blatchford kicks it to Rogers. And Blatchford kicks out for the three. And none of her shots have been falling the second half. Jackson's layup is no good, but the third attempt of the possession fumbles in for Jackson.
And when Sequoyah can't get it on the first one, they usually have a couple more tries and they're able to put it in.
McGrath for a long three. She pushes it in.
Oh, McGrath getting in Jackson's face there after she made that three. She had a little something to say to Jackson. I'm not sure if Jackson liked that all that much.
7 seconds left in the third quarter. Rogers, a pass out to Singh. Bellinger attempting the buzzer beater three, and it goes in and out. Had a chance at another shot there, but Rogers can't get Jackson to put it in, and that's going to be end of the third quarter. 49-30 is your score from the War Lodge. Sequoyah up by 19. That wasn't as explosive as the third quarter we were expecting, Will, but Riverwood didn't have as much as an explosive quarter as we were hoping if they want to get back in this game, but they still had a better quarter than Sequoyah.
Oh, most definitely they did, and that's not what we expected from them. I mean, Max, Riverwood outscored Sequoyah 15-8, and that is really what you want to see. And although they're still down by 19, if they can keep playing like that and maybe work on that press a little more like they had in the first quarter, they were doing a very good job of that, kind of giving Sequoyah a taste of their own medicine. I mean, I could see Riverwood getting back in this one.
Definitely. They're going to have to limit that scoring, which they definitely did last quarter. 8 points was about this average that Riverwood had in the first quarter that they held Sequoyah to in that quarter. So if their defense steps it up, which they did, but their offense definitely needs to get something more going. We saw 15 points. That was a great quarter, but they're down by 19, so they're going to have to find someone else to start scoring. We've seen Green, we've seen McGrath, McConnell, three great players. Maybe Green can get some more scoring going, or maybe Sanders or another player can go on a run at some point.
Yeah, and McGrath is the player I want to talk about. She had 11 points in that third quarter.
Yeah, great quarter for McGrath. Nailed a couple threes.
You know, coming into the second half, that was who we said Riverwood was going to need to look to if that they were going to get back in it, and that's exactly what happened.
A three attempted by Maya Gale, but it was too much on that one as Singh gives it to Jackson for the fast break, and she resets it after she loses control.
And Sequoyah's typical starting five will be out to start the fourth quarter.
Blatchford now guarded by Green. Gets a screen from Rogers. Jackson for three, and hers goes in. And she is now up to 15 points on the evening.
So her and McGrath are tied for the lead scorers of the game at 15. Both girls having a very nice game so far. Erin Jackson getting a lot of playing time in this game, still trying to get to that 1,000-point mark.
And everyone going on the floor now, but Blatchford ends up with the steal. Singh with a nice fake there, and her two bounces out. McGrath trying to go on the fast break, but she cools it down. Green looking for an outlet, and she finds Gale. Cross court, who attempts the two. The bullet of a shot is no good. As Smith is trying to be a one-man show on the press. Rogers easily gets up floor, and Chiefs have a 22-point lead with 6:15 left. Rogers shot in and out. Green with a Euro step past Jackson, and hers falls in.
And that was a great little move by her. And, you know, we talked about in the third quarter how she had had some nice drives to the basket, and that's another one that was a nice little, like you said, Euro step to get the points.
And we haven't seen one of those errant passes since about the second quarter, but it has made another appearance as Singh chucks it to the corner where there was about no one there.
And those who are tuning in, first of all, we want to thank you for tuning in on Chiefs TV. And also we want to remind you that we have the boys game coming up next at 7:30 playing Riverwood. It'll be right after this one. We'll take about a 15 to 20-minute break, and we will bring that one to you.
Should be another good game right there. As the boys are rolling, they have a third seed locked up for region play. And the girls have a 2 seed, a bye round, locked up. But McGrath chucks up another three from downtown.
From way downtown. She was a good 1 or 2 steps beyond the arc there. She is definitely starting to feel it. She's at 18 points.
18 points, over half of Riverwood's total amount. And she's feeling herself definitely, but so is Jackson as her three goes out. Rogers 2 is drilled, and that's going to be a timeout called by Coach Yarborough. And Will, I don't think we have given enough appreciation to our sponsors. How about we get started on those?
No, we definitely haven't. It's only our third time out of the game, so we will do just that. All right, at the gold level, we have Beto's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus. Down to the gray level, we have Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Insight Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture. And then finally at the white level, we have Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River. We want to thank you all for your support of the Sequoyah Chiefs girls basketball and boys basketball programs.
They all truly do help our programs thrive.
And they help us put on this quality broadcast that you are watching.
Definitely. Resuming play with 5:13 left in the fourth quarter. Sequoyah up by 19. As Gale is trapped in the corner by David and Singh, and her pass goes over the hands of Carter. Jackson thinks about the three, but gets double teamed very quickly. Rogers, a nice fake in the drive, teases everyone, but falls in.
And Rogers now with 17. She hadn't scored many points, or I don't think she scored any points in that second half yet.
And Davies was touching the line as she had control of the ball, and that's going to be out of bounds. Riverwood ball.
I'm going to make a correction. She hadn't scored any since that last little layup, but I think those 4 were the first that she had scored of the second half, and she's now at 17, so there's a little bit of a fight going on for who's in the scoring lead. We've seen Jackson be in it. McGrath has been consistently in it for Riverwood.
And Gale gives a little bit of an attitude going to the bench for Riverwood, but that's going to be a turnover. A little miscommunication between McGrath and Carter, and Sequoyah ball. Another miscue by Riverwood. Sequoyah breaking the press with ease as Gaddis a fierce bounce pass, and Davies can't put the layup up. Seems some continuous missed layups from just under the basket for Sequoyah in the second half. Uncharacteristic of the Lady Chiefs. Gives the ball to Riverwood with 4:21 left in the fourth quarter. Green putting some moves on Blatchford. Cornerfield thinks about the long two. Instead kicks back out to Green. McConnell guarded by Jackson, being physical with her, and Green gets the kick out and clangs off. Rogers instead drives for two, and that's going to be Blatchford, gets the rebound, fouled on the way up with 3:49 left in the fourth quarter.
You know, fouls haven't been much of a problem for either team. We haven't seen many players go to the free throw line. I think this is Blatchford's first time. I know we saw Green go there once, and then I think it was maybe Barber who went there as well for Sequoyah. But fouls haven't been much trouble for either team, so that's good to see.
Yeah, we definitely saw Blatchford. I think we did see Blatchford go there once because that was her crazy and one that we saw.
Yes, you are right. Her behind the back and one. That is just
remarkable.
A shot only she can make, for sure.
And Blatchford goes 2 for 2 from the line, 3 for 3 tonight. And now Riverwood going to try to break this press. Sequoyah kind of playing man up the floor. Kornfeld attempts the three, and that gives no sound. That's going to be a turnover for Sequoyah. 3:37 left.
Sequoyah's leading scorers. We got Rogers on the floor with 17, Blatchford with 14, and then Jackson with 15. So Sequoyah's big three getting lots of points here against Riverwood.
Physical steal there by Carter, and Jackson gets called for the foul, trying to keep the ball in possession. As Abdul Salam comes to the table for Davies, and the sophomore heads to the bench. 3:27 left from the War Lodge as the Lady Chiefs are up by 23.
And it'll be interesting to see if the Riverwood coach puts in Saunders to get that Abdus-Salam matchup. I know that's one we've seen multiple times.
Another steal. Blatchford, and Gaddis's high layup goes on top of the backboard and goes in.
And Gaddis will get in the scoring game with her first two of the game. Everyone on the court for Sequoyah with at least a couple points.
Gaddis has had a couple opportunities, but she was a part of that dry spell that Sequoyah had in the early third quarter. And right as I say, Gaddis fouls Amara Carter as she goes up. And Carter trying to get on the board. 60-37 with 2:50 left.
And you know, Max, obviously we've talked about McGrath a lot on that Riverwood side with 18 points, but also someone we haven't talked about in a little bit is Hannah McConnell. She's got 8 points. She's had a lot of physical drives, and she's also had a lot of things that maybe haven't been reflected on the score sheet, but she's had a good game.
Gorley, a good bounce pass to Abdul Salam, but gets it to Gaddis, and she's now up to 4. 62-38.
And that shot is something we've seen multiple times from Sequoyah now. Just that kind of driving the lane from a couple steps away and then just floated in with one hand, and it's been going in. It's working.
And McConnell doesn't see Gaddis coming. She gets blocked, but Gaddis gets a little bit of a wrist slap there. And that's going to be three shots for McConnell, I believe.
So McConnell with a chance to get into double digits here.
Correct, 8 points on the night so far. She's up to 9 now. McGrath comes off the floor for Naya Elwin. Gaddis comes off the floor for Sophia Diamaro for Sequoyah. Sequoyah up by 23 right now. McConnell just had 2 free throws, but knocks both of them down. She's in the double-digit point club with 2:22 left. Rogers was double teamed, but she breaks the press, gives it to Jackson, who's guarded heavily by Elwin, making good use of her playing time. Rogers to Gorley once again. Back to Rogers. Kicked it to Demaro on the far side, and she's guarded heavily by Elwin. She is being physical from the get-go right now. A good look by Rogers, but the long arms of Carter knocks that loose, and it's going to remain Sequoyah ball under their own basket.
With 4 seconds left on the shot clock, so Sequoyah's going to have to do something fast.
And it hits the rim, so they still have possession, but Diamaro's shot hits nothing. Jackson finds Gorley for a layup, and she gets trapped under the goal. But it was hit out by a Riverwood player. Going to remain Sequoyah ball with 1:41 left in the last quarter of this matchup.
Sequoyah doing a good job of staying alive as they've been doing. When they're missing shots, they always get another opportunity, at least one, maybe two.
Yeah, I think rebounding's been a great part of Sequoyah's game today. As Jackson attempts another three, and they're getting rebound after rebound. Gorley kicks it to Rogers, and they're getting another reset. Shot clock at 17, plenty of time for the Lady Chiefs. And Abdul Salam thought Rogers was going to her. Was not, but Elwin attempts her two, and she nails it. And after getting put in with 2 minutes left, she's already on the board with 2 points.
She's the only player on the floor for Riverwood with points now. Riverwood's usual starting 5 subbed off, including McGrath, who was at 18.
A great pass by Rogers to Jackson.
And Rogers being that playmaker that we've seen her be all year, finding that lane. And Jackson able to put it up for an easy 2.
And the clock is at 37 seconds left. Jackson with those points gets to 17 points. And she's getting closer and closer. I mean, she's actually past that average that she needs to get to probably get to that 1,000 point mark that she needed. But Will, I say we get to those sponsors.
Most definitely, Max. All right, so at our gold level, we have Beto's Bar and Grill and then Cherokee Focus. Down to the gray level, we have Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Insight Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, Woodstock Furniture. And then at our white level, we have Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River.
And we have some substitutions brought up from the JV team this game. Audrey Waits and Natalie Pollard, they are being subbed in right now. 2 freshmen playing on varsity in the lights. Waits for 3. Tips off the front of the rim. And another attempt, but Pollard thinks about it. A great pass to her fellow freshman Abdul Salam, but it was an unfortunate roll off the rim.
And you could audibly hear the disappointment from the crowd when Waits shot up her 3.
And you could hear when she shot it, the whole crowd went, they're excited. And with 8 seconds left, after this win, Sequoyah will move to 18-6, have already locked up that second spot in the region tournament, and Riverwood will move to 8-16. Can Natalie Pollard get a shot up? And it rims off. And that will do it from the War Lodge for this girls matchup. 64-42, a dominant win by Sequoyah in their last regular season home game. Will, from the get-go, 7-0 run, and they continued their lead for the whole game.
Yeah, you know, Riverwood, I think we didn't give enough credit. They did do a good job of the press all the time. I think, you know, Sequoyah just being experts on the press, they knew how to get around it, how to find the holes, how to get the ball quickly to their side of the court. But so Riverwood, well played to them. But I mean, the Lady Chiefs, in typical fashion, 64-42, a fantastic game. 17 points from Rogers, 17 points from Blatchford, and I believe 17 from Jackson, and then 15 from Blatchford. So
a great game across the board for all of our big three. It was a great game.
A great team effort by them. How about McGrath on the Riverwood side, though? She had 18 points, and I think she had to be subbed out at the end there for a little bit of foul trouble, but a great game all around, and it's been nice for this girls team broadcasting the home games, and their last regular season game is on Tuesday. I believe it will be filmed on Chiefs TV. It's against Johns Creek, the last region game and the last home game, and then they will be in the playoffs. But up next, we have the boys, Riverwood versus Sequoyah. That'll be coming to you in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see y'all then. Well, Riverwood ends their last away game with exactly their points per game average, and Sequoyah, a great win by the Jackson, Rogers, and Blatchford. Will is right. We will see y'all next game for the boys matchup, Riverwood and Sequoyah. Should be another great one. We'll see y'all about 15 minutes for that one.
Good evening and welcome to the War Lodge. We're here tonight for the final home game, the Sequoyah Chiefs versus the Riverwood Raiders. It's going to be a good one. Max, what can we expect from tonight's matchup?
Well, Sequoyah is currently rolling. Last game really put it on Cambridge, 81-57, sitting at 17-6, already locked up that third seed in the region playoffs, are going to be the highest seed with a home game in the first round. Riverwood, on the other hand, their season has not really been what they expected. 5-18, 2-10 in region, and 7th in the region. Last game, lost by 3 to Johns Creek, beat Creekview by 1 point the game before that. It's really come down to really close games for Riverwood throughout the whole season. Their ability just to capitalize on these close games is what can really shift their whole season maybe in the coming years.
Yeah, most definitely. And Max, we have quite the turnout of fans. We got a big student section. It's gray out, and they got the boomwhackers. We got plenty of fans. It's going to be a good one here tonight. So Sequoyah is coming into this game at 17-6, 8-4 in region play, and this is a Region 7 6A matchup. So this is one of the ones that either team is definitely going to want to win. And then Riverwood coming in at 5-18, 2-10 in region play. The last time they played was January 11th. Sequoyah won 92-71. And Sequoyah is a team that can, playing against the right team, they can pour on a lot of points. We saw them get the century mark versus Johns Creek, and that's who they play next Tuesday, as well as the girls team. And it looks like the starting lineups for Riverwood is going to be number 1, Alan Reed, number 3, Karis Bilal, number 15, Justin Stewart, 23, Jalen Leonard, and number 33, whom we do not have listed on our roster.
We do not have listed on our roster, but Karis Bilal is going to be a big player for this Riverwood team. A physical athlete he is.
And now we'll throw it down to the court for the Sequoyah starting lineup. It's going to be number 0, Preston Parker. Number 2, Matthew Trainer. Number 4, senior Dylan Wally, whom we saw join the 1,000 point club earlier this season, as well as the next guy, number 10, Kyle Keener. Both Kyle and Dylan joined the 1,000 point club. And then lastly, it's going to be Fisher Mitchell, number 22, the big man in that Sequoyah paint. So 8 minutes are on the clock. Sequoyah in their home white uniforms with the flat on the back and Chiefs on the front. Riverwood with their red uniforms, blue lining. And it says Raiders on the front. So we are all set to go for this Region 7 6A matchup inside the War Lodge. Chiefs versus Raiders. It's going to be a good one.
Should be a physical one, Will. A one that's going to get some eyes.
And it looks like Sequoyah is going to win the tip-off, and Keener goes up for the early bucket, and he will be fouled. Looks like that's number 3, Yager Onaunu, with the foul on Riverwood. Or, excuse me, Karis Bilal for Riverwood will pick up the foul, and Keener will be sent to the line. And Kyle Keener will sink the second one as well. So Sequoyah off to an early 2-point lead thanks to the early foul. And it looks like there will be another whistle blown.
Oh, now it was out of bounds.
So Sequoyah ball again. So Sequoyah with the opportunity to jump out to an early 2-possession lead. And Dylan Wally with a corner 3. That's no good. Ball will be gotten by Preston Parker, who will put up another little lob shot. And he'll get his own rebound, and it looks like there will be Riverwood ball.
A foul on Preston Parker. That's sounds from the War Lodge.
Not sure what the call was, but regardless, it'll be Riverwood ball. That'll be Jalen Leonard pulling up for a 3, and that's good. So Riverwood on the board early and out to an early lead, 3-2. And Keener will fight over to Parker. Parker's open for 3. He'll fire it up. That's no good. Fisher Mitchell goes for the rebound. Does not get it. That'll be hit out of bounds by him. So Jalen Leonard will take the inbound pass. He will pass it into Alan Reed. who will throw it over to Leonard. Leonard getting worked on by Wally. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Gives it off to Reed. Reed being guarded by Parker. Reed drives in, throws up a bucket. That's no good. Parker will get the rebound. Parker under the basket. Throws it over to Keener. Keener at the elbow. Dishes it into Trainer. Trainer out to Mitchell. Mitchell for the big three. And that's no good. Clings off the front of the iron.
And we've seen that from Mitchell throughout this latter part of the season. Has really honed in on his outside shooting game. Has really become his brand of basketball.
And after Karis Bilal goes up for the two-pointer, that'll be no good. So Sequoyah will get the ball. Preston Parker with a nice drive to the basket. That's kicked out. Wally gets it, throws it over to Keener. And Keener will throw it back to Wally, who will throw it back to Keener. Gives it to Parker now. Being worked on by Karis Bilal. Mitchell gives it over to Keener. Keener tries to drive inside, pulls up with a jumper. That's a good look, and that'll not go in after quite a few bounces. Parker will get the rebound, and that'll go in for the and one. So Parker to the charity stripe, and Parker's having a nice night already.
Already showing his physicality and going to the goal. Not afraid of Bilal and the rest of the Raiders.
And, you know, Max, I think some keys to the game for Sequoyah, obviously you want to start Wally and Keener early. Those are your main two shooters. But if not, I think Preston Parker, who's at the line, and then Fisher Mitchell are the other two guys to look to. We've both seen them get many points in what we've kind of called dark horse games as Parker makes that free throw. So the score will be 5-3 with 6:27 left to go in this first quarter. And Karis Bilal will drive it up the floor. Toss it over to Jalen Leonard. Leonard now being guarded by Trainer. Dishes it off to Bilal. Bilal getting guarded on by Keener. He pulls up for the two. Mid-range jumper, no good.
Rebounded by the dual sport athlete Matthew Trainer.
And we're going to see a lot of rebounds from him tonight, Max, won't we?
Definitely.
Keener pulls up for the big three, and that's good. You cannot leave him open. He will make that. And that'll move Sequoyah out to an 8-3 lead with 5:50 left to go in this first quarter.
And that's something that the Sequoiah's opponents always learn. You cannot leave Dylan Wally open for three ever.
And Leonard gets it now, top of the key, and that's no good. And Allen Reed for the three, and he'll answer with his own. So some threes being exchanged by both teams, answering both points. 8-6 Sequoyah lead. Fisher Mitchell goes up for another three, and he makes it. So he gets his first three of the game. Moving Sequoiah's lead to 11-6. And Jalen Leonard will now bring the ball up the court for Riverwood. Tosses it off to Reed. Reed pump fakes, and that'll be an errant pass out of bounds. I think the intended receiver was Justin Stewart on that one.
And 4 of 5 players on the floor for Sequoyah all have points thus far. A good sign early as they're trying to spread the load and get consistent scores throughout this whole matchup.
Most definitely. If they can't get Wally and Keener started, I mean, they'll take all 4 players getting started. Parker, Mitchell, Keener, and Wally, and Trainer with that defensive presence. Wally with another three. That'll bounce off the front of the iron. And Trainer will look for the rebound, and I think it was tipped off of him. Or no, they're going to say it was tipped off the Riverwood player. So Sequoyah will inbound the ball. Dylan Wally will do the honors. He'll toss it into Mitchell. Mitchell will fire it over to Keener. Keener back to Wally in the corner. Keener looking for something, motioning inside. Fisher goes there. Wally passes it into Fisher Mitchell. And Parker's all by himself for three. That's no good. And it'll be Riverwood's ball. So Jalen Leonard fires it over to Allen Reed in the corner. Nobody on him. He pulls up for three. That's no good. And Parker will get the rebound. And Keener will take it. Drive inside. Big block there by KJ McCray, number 33. So we did get a name on that. Max ran down to the scorer's table. Number 33 on Riverwood is KJ McCray. And it looks like he'll pick up his first foul of the game, which will send Keener to the line once more. We saw Keener at the charity stripe very early in the game. He scored the first couple points there for Sequoyah.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, Will. Keener going up for the second time, kind of getting the ball swatted away from him, but getting the foul along with it. He's taking advantage of it, going 3 for 3 so far.
And Allen Reed's going to be checked out, and Yager Onaunu will be put in for Riverwood. Keener misses that last free throw, so he'll be 3 for 4 on free throws tonight. 12-6 Sequoyah lead, 4:12 left to go. Bilal makes a move inside, sees nothing, and we'll give it off to Leonard. Leonard goes up for it. Ball looks like it was tipped by Mitchell, and it'll go out of bounds, and I believe that will be Sequoiah's ball.
Good attempt there by Law to go in there. Trying to get something going for the Raiders right now.
So Gillette and Harris subbed in for Trainer and Parker. So all seniors on the court for Sequoyah as Keener moves the ball up the court. Wally makes for a move inside, dishes it out to Harris. Harris takes a look at a three, but is no good, so he'll give it to Keener. Keener motioning inside. Keener at the elbow in the corner now. Gives it to Gillette. Gillette dribbles out wide, gives it to Mitchell at the top of the key. Over to Wally. Wally makes a move inside. There's nobody there, and he'll take the open lane for a couple points and move the Sequoyah lead out to 14-6.
And Wally sees those lanes super easily, has an x-ray vision for gaps and lanes in the defense.
And Karis Bilal will put up, I believe that was a short two-pointer for Riverwood, so he'll get on the board with his first couple points of the game. And Sequoyah will take the ball on the other end of the court. Gillette over to Keener. Keener with a deep three, and that's good.
Keener nailing a long one.
And that was from a step or two out beyond the arc. So nice long shot there from Keener. And Onaunu tries to pass it to someone, and Keener tapped it out of bounds. So Riverwood will get the ball.
Keener up to 6 points now, leads the team after that three.
And Bilal makes a move inside, bounces it off the high glass over Keener's head, so that'll be 2 more points for Riverwood. Gillette gets the ball over to Mitchell. Mitchell to Wally. Wally with a deep three of his own. That'll be off the front of the rim. And Bilal will go the other way on Mitchell. And I believe the call will be Riverwood's ball.
Yeah, the foul on the floor. Good move by Law there. He saw Fisher Mitchell kind of cemented in position.
A little bit of confusion there from Riverwood. 2 players there didn't know who was going to get the pass. Gillette again up the floor over to Mitchell, now to Harris. Harris with a three of his own, and that toilet bowls out, so that's no good. Riverwood gets the rebound, and Bilal will dribble it up the floor. He goes for a mid-range jumper, and that's good. Wow, he has an off-balance shot there.
And Bilal's now up to 6, supporting half the weight now for the Raiders.
Indeed he is. Sequoyah on top of Riverwood, 17-12, minute 58 left in this one. And Keener drives to the basket, and I think that might have been poked away.
And a cheerleader saw her life flash before her eyes. Had some good movement there to get out of the way of that one, though.
Yes, she did. All right, so Karis Bilal will get it up the floor for Riverwood. Pass it over to Jalen Leonard, who's back in the game. Jalen Leonard steps back for a three, and that will bounce off the back of the rim, and that's no good. And it'll go out of bounds, so it'll be Sequoyah's ball. Connor Harris will inbound it to Kyle Keener. And as Keener dribbles past the logo, he dishes it over to Wally at the elbow. And Keener taking advantage of a defender who I think just fell over and puts a little teardrop two-pointer in for Sequoyah to move their lead up to 7. 1:17 left to go, 19-12. Riverwood with a big three, that's no good. Jalen Leonard on that one. Now Gillette trying to answer with one of his own, and he does. So he will take advantage of Riverwood's missed opportunity and cash in with a tray of his own. So 22-12, 10-point lead, less than a minute to go. And Karis Bilal on Riverwood driving to the basket. And it looks like they are going to give Riverwood possession.
Foul on Connor Gillette.
Bilal's going to go to the line, excuse me.
He's seen a lot more playing time this past couple games, past couple weeks actually. A lot more playing time, and that three really shows why. He's making his shots now as proof. Something to Coach Carden finally in his 4th year here at Sequoyah. Well-deserved amount of playing time for number 12.
And Bilal will sink his first free throw. You know, we've seen Bilal shoot attempt a lot of three-pointers already. He has 3 points on the night, so he's a very aggressive shooter. Will take any chance he can get. So if he can start cashing in on these, that's going to be something that Sequoiah's going to have to watch out for. as he makes his second free throw of the game, which will move him up to 4.
Yeah, if he starts cashing in on those attempts, he's kind of shot all over the floor, a lot of shots all over the floor. If he cashes in, that could really change the whole game.
Indeed it can. Gillette now in the corner. Fires it over to Keener, who is open, goes for a 3, no good. Gillette gets the rebound. Gillette's pass is intercepted by Onaunu. And Bilal up for the 3, no good off the side. Wally will save the ball from going out and pass it over to Keener. Clock ticking past 30 seconds. Shot clock is void. Chiefs on top of Riverwood, 22-14 here in this first quarter. Keener will give it to Gillette at the elbow. We'll pass it back to Keener. Keener looking for a play to make. Had to dribble it around. Less than 10 seconds to go now.
Shot clock is off.
Keener fires it into Wally, and Wally has nobody on him, so he'll get easy 2 points. Less than a second to go, and Riverwood's not going to get the shot off. So Max, 24-14 at the end of the first quarter. What do you think Sequoyah did right? What do you think Riverwood could improve on to get back into the second quarter?
Well, we were talking about Karis Bilal and how he continuously shot a lot of shots for Riverwood, but that was kind of really it. Karis Bilal was kind of the main shooter, and that was really it. But for Sequoyah, we talked about at some point in the first quarter, they really have spread the load really well, and that's something that's dangerous. That's something that is really dangerous for a team to have when we've said it consistently. You have those different amount of players who can score. There's no real way you can stop this constant flow of points that are always coming in.
Yeah, and Karis Bilal's at 8 points already. The only other person on the court at the end of the first quarter with points was Jalen Leonard. So yeah, if Karis Bilal, he's been taking a lot of shots. If he can start to capitalize on more of them, it's going to be a real problem for Sequoyah. And I think what both teams are doing a good job of is really easily finding the holes in each other's defense and playing around that. I mean, we saw with that last point of the first quarter, Wally had that open 2, and we've also seen Keener with a couple looks at a 3 and then some 2s. But Riverwood's been doing the same. Sequoyah's defense hasn't been quite as locked down as it usually is. Yeah,
we've really seen like the passing visions of both teams really just come up a whole new level this game. They're really seeing the defenses truly phenomenally. It's a great showing for both offensive right now.
You're 100% right. So Stephen Garrett will fire up a 3. And that'll be good. And look like the ref will blow a whistle. Got a little bit of a wet spot on the floor, so someone will run over there with a towel to clean that up. So Max, we can take a couple seconds to give some love to our sponsors real quick.
Of course, Will. Our gold level sponsors, Beato's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus. Our gray level sponsors, Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Insight Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture.
Already, and we'll throw it back down to the court. Fisher Mitchell inbounding the ball to Kyle Keener. Kyle Keener will dribble it up. He's being worked on by Allen Reed, a matchup we've seen pretty consistently tonight. Keener will switch off to Tony Brown.
A mismatch down low with Reed on Mitchell. He was doing everything he could to guard him.
Yeah, Allen Reed sitting at only 5'8", and then Fisher Mitchell, the big man, at 6'4". So I don't know if there's some miscommunication there between Riverwood's Tony Brown and Allen Reed, but yeah, definitely a mismatch there. And Keener will get the ball, inbound it to Parker. Wally from way downtown, and that's off the front of the rim. Mitchell will get the rebound, throw it up to Trainer, and Trainer's able to just lob it in. Man, that was a really long shot taken by Wally. He must have been feeling it.
I was about to say, if he hit that shot, I don't know what I would have done.
Nearly from the sideline. So Allen Reed will get the ball for Riverwood, drive it in, dish it out to Garrett. We've already seen Garrett make a 3. He'll give it back to Reed. Reed will find an open man, and that's good for the 3. So Garrett and Reed playing a little bit of a passing drill there, and Preston Parker getting on a fast break on the other side. Not able to get the bucket, but he will go to the line. So 26-20 your score, 6:48 left to go in the second quarter.
And Parker looking to get his 3rd and 4th points of the occasion.
And he'll be good for 3 points. And you know, Max, that last little sequence by Riverwood, I mean, we saw Allen Reed and then Tony Brown throwing it back and forth until one of them was open, and then Garrett was able to capitalize on that open 3 as Parker will make his fourth point of the game. And looks like they're going to call travel on Allen Reed, so Sequoyah with a chance to get into the 30-point marker and the double-digit lead here.
And this game is close. 8 points can easily be overtaken by Riverwood in the blink of an eye. So those easy miscues right there in a close game right now in the second quarter is going to be huge down the stretch.
Yeah, both teams not playing the cleanest game, and we see Keener with a layup there. But, Max, there was 3 Sequoyah players all in like less than half of the court there. Keener had a wide open lane. All he had to do was beat one man. Trainer gets the ball. Will throw it up for the layup, so he intercepts the pass. And we'll put Sequoyah at 32-20 against Riverwood. And a big 3 there from Karis Bilal. Another one from way downtown, taking advantage of the fast break. And that'll move Riverwood up to 23 points. Mitchell now dishes it off to Keener. Keener over to Parker. Parker at the top of the key, drives in the lane. Nobody there, throws it down to Trainer. And there's nobody around Trainer, so he will go up for the easy 2.
And Trainer's up to 4 now. Both of his points in the past 30 seconds.
So Reed now giving it to Bilal. Bilal with a big 3 of his own, and he makes it.
I said it pregame, Bilal is a fierce player we're going to have to watch. Can easily hit threes. You have to watch out for him.
And that's his second throw, or that's his second 3 from I don't even know where in a row. Those were 2 quick 3s from 2 places that are not usually shot by 3s. And speaking of shots not usually made, Preston Parker off of the corner of the glass there, and the ball will be tipped out of bounds by Sequoyah. So Riverwood's ball. Jalen Leonard will inbound it to Karis Bilal. That was a great shot by Preston Parker. I mean, I know we saw him with a shot earlier this season where he just lobbed it up behind his back. And there's Zach Rubin with a 3, and he'll make his own. So Riverwood's starting to capitalize on the 3 ball. They've made 3 of their last 3 to pull in 36-28 lead. Sequoyah, 5:06 left to go. So 9 quick points will help Riverwood close the gap on Sequoyah.
It's going to be a foul called on Stephen Garrett while guarding Matthew Trainer.
Still a 6-point lead by Sequoyah, or 8-point lead, excuse me.
And when will they learn to guard Wally?
And Wally will get those points, so Jalen Leonard will come down the floor for Riverwood. And I think there's going to be a foul on Stephen Galvin. So Riverwood will inbound the ball once more. Leonard gives it to Rubin, and there's yet another whistle.
Backcourt is the call. Interesting.
So Sequoyah will get the ball. So, you know, turnovers and fouls have been a little bit of a problem so far in this matchup, Max.
Yeah, they really have. Turnovers and fouls indeed. And that's really what's causing this kind of scoring drought for Riverwood now. You know, Sequoyah pull back away.
And we say scoring drought, but their last 3 shots have all been 3s and they've been made. But, I mean, before that, yeah, they were in a bit of a scoring drought. Trainer now with a nice little spin move to shake the defender off of him, and he'll get a nice teardrop 2-pointer there to increase Sequoyah's lead from 41-28. A 3 put up by Garrett there. That's no good. He'll dish it out to Bilal. Bilal with another 3, and that's no good. And Riverwood gets the rebound again. And it looks like there's going to be a call. Allen Reed's on the ground, holding his face. I think there might have been a little bit of a collision. Hopefully Reed's okay. And he jumps up. Looks like he's all right.
Yeah, looks to be holding his eye maybe.
Looks like he's going to take a well-deserved break on the bench.
And Onanu is going to come in for him.
And Reed now throws it to Bilal. Bilal getting worked on by Keener. Bilal having to put on some moves to shake him. And throws it over to Rubin, excuse me. He goes for the 3. That's no good. So Keener will take the ball. Throw it over to Mitchell in the corner. Mitchell for 3, and that's good. So 44-28 Sequoyah. 4 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
And the Chiefs' shots are falling. They are feeling themselves right now.
And Bilal with another 3. That's not good. So Parker will get the rebound. And he'll dribble it down the floor. He's being worked on by Rubin. Trainer with another spin move, and he'll get another basket. That's the second move. That was almost the identical move that we saw him do a little bit earlier to get another 2 points for Sequoyah. 46-28, 3:36 left to go.
And Trainer is into double digits. A rare sighting here in the War Lodge on the final game of the regular season. at home.
especially this early. And a nice move by Jalen Leonard there to drive to the basket for an and one. So the score will now be 46-30 in Sequoia's favor. 3:33 left to go in the second quarter. And Trainer and Keener both in double digits. And Bilal at 14 for Riverwood, so he's at almost half of the points for Riverwood. And Leonard's first free throw is going to be no good, so Sequoyah will get the rebound. Parker dribbling up the floor, guarded by Leonard. He'll give it to Keener, being worked on by Bilal. Bilal will give it to Mitchell. Mitchell takes advantage, and he gets an open three, so that'll be 49-30.
2 threes for Mitchell in the last 30 seconds, and he's up to 9. And the Chiefs are really spreading the load right now.
And Stewart goes for an open on Naunu, but that's not good. Riverwood gets their own rebound, and that three is going to be made by Karis Bilal.
He is on fire, up to 17, more than half of the points for Riverwood.
And not only that, but he's at almost 20 points, and there's still 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the second quarter. He's having quite a night, as Preston Parker will be sent to the free throw line for the second time tonight. And Parker will miss that one.
Not the first time I've seen Parker at the line tonight.
Parker sitting at 7 points on the night, and he'll get another attempt at a free throw. And that is good. So that'll put Sequoyah at the half-century mark. So a pretty explosive game so far, Max. Sequoyah already at 50 points, and it's only the second quarter. But, I mean, Riverwood still isn't out of it. They got 17 just in one player.
Yeah, 100%.
And Leonard drives up in a big block from Fisher Mitchell there. But it looks like he got a little too much skin and not enough ball, so that'll be a foul on him. And Leonard will go to the charity stripe. Also not for the first time tonight. You know, Max, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but fouls really have been a problem for both teams tonight as Leonard makes that first free throw.
They have, and not just fouls, but sending people to the line after shots. Fouls off ball, I mean, they could add up in the end of the quarter, but still, they're fouling the people consistently on shooting, and it's giving both teams, honestly, a great chances of getting 3 points.
I can't believe there's been 84 points scored this half already. I mean, and there's been so many turnovers, and neither team is playing a really clean game. There's been turnovers and just some sloppy plays, but Sequoyah is on top of Riverwood. And Leonard did make that second free throw, so that'll put Riverwood at 35. Trainer now in the paint, makes a nice move, and he'll get the layup. Man, he is a beast down in the paint. That is the third just spin move, layup. I don't know what to call it.
You can tell he's a strong dude, but his mentality when he's driving, he has this ferocity and intensity that is seen on the football field and seen on the basketball court. He just drives the lane with the mentality. He just goes right at the defender every time. Now up to 8 points on the game. Pardon me, 12 points.
I was just going to say he's using that quarterback elusiveness to just almost looking like he was just slipping out of the pocket there as he makes that free throw. Move him to 13 points now, excuse me. And Karis Bilal will throw it down the court to Stewart.
And you're talking about fouls, Will. Sequoyah's now in bonus.
And Onaunu with a three in the corner. Excuse us if it takes us a little bit to see some of those names in the corner. The student section is blocking a little bit of that portion of the court. And Trainer will fire it over to Parker. Parker with an open three, and he'll make that. So Parker now in double digits, 11 points on the day, 56-35. A very high-scoring first half. And it's not over. We still got 1:47 left to go as Riverwood has the ball. Wow, nice move from Leonard. Unable to get the basket, but still able to get through the defenders, and he will be sent to the free throw line for his efforts.
It's gone from an 8-point ball game to a 21-point ball game in the blink of an eye. Sequoyah shots have been falling like a waterfall. They have just been non-stop, and Riverwood does not seem to have enough of an answer. They have by law, just not enough support from across the roster.
Yeah, I mean, Leonard and Bilal are the only two on the court right now with points.
And Bilal is 17.
Yeah. I mean, Stewart has 0 right now. Onaunu does not have any. And then Lindsay, who was just subbed into the game, does not have any. And another foul will be called, so both teams now in the bonus with 1:41 left to go, 56-36, a 20-point lead by Sequoyah in this second quarter of play.
Those fouls you were talking about earlier have come into play in the long stretch of this quarter.
Yeah, and Lindsay with an opportunity to get his first points of the game. And you know, Max, I think both teams are playing pretty similar games, giving up a lot of fouls, turning it over, but also their shots are falling like crazy as Lindsay will make his first free throw and he'll get another attempt. So both teams playing very similar games, so you got to think if looking into the second half, if one of the teams can lock down on defense, they could really pull ahead.
Yeah, this is really Sequoiah's game to lose. So it's basically if Riverwood right now can find a way to kind of lock down on defense while also gaining support of maybe some other players who can consistently bring us.
And Wally with a big 3 there, wide open one, that'll get him another 3 points to add to the Sequoyah total. And a 3 attempted by Bilal, that's no good. Keener with the fast break. Attempted block by Bilal is no good. Keener has a little something to say to Bilal about that. Those two exchanging some words after the layup. 61-38, 1:08 left to go in the second quarter. Very high scoring matchup so far. Both teams in the bonus. A step back 3 there from Leonard, and that's good. So that'll get him in the double digits, 11 points. Under a minute to go now. Keener lining up the troops, finds Parker, he's open. Parker tries to make a move, goes on the inside, goes for the little shot, that's no good.
And 61 points for Sequoyah. Riverwood on average per game scores 63.
There's been 102 points scored just in the first half.
A remarkable half, offensive half for both teams. Defensive might need to clean some stuff up during halftime, but the scoring has not been at a loss at all.
So Preston Parker will make a free throw, and that'll put him at 11 points for the night, and he'll get another opportunity. And you know, Max, the score of the last game, last time that they played, as Parker makes his second, was 92-71, so another high-scoring matchup. But at this rate, Sequoyah could get well into the 100 points. We saw them do that, as we mentioned pregame, against Johns Creek, got 100 exactly.
Yeah, they could get well into the 100s. 63.5, man.
Those are some good numbers put up by Sequoyah. And Harris and Wally go up for the block against Lindsay. And Lindsay will be sent to the free throw line once more. He's 2 for 2 on free throws tonight with an opportunity to increase that streak. Sequoyah with 7 fouls on the quarter and Riverwood with 6. 41.8 seconds left to go.
Fouls on Connor Harris. That's his first of the night.
And Lindsay makes that free throw.
Matthew Trainer comes in for Stephen Galvin on the Sequoyah side of things.
And Onaunu checks in for Riverwood. And Lindsay now with the second attempt for the free throw. And he puts it up. And that one rattles off the rim, so no good. 63-42 your score. Just under 40 seconds left to go. Keener lines up the troops on the Sequoyah side of the ball. Wally drives in, is able to get an open lane. No good, and he gets his own rebound with a little help from the tip of Matthew Trainer's fingers, and it'll be kicked out to Keener.
The shot clock is running. The difference is 2 seconds.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 seconds left, so Sequoyah content to hold the ball as Keener is doing right now, being guarded by Onaunu. Probably going to wait till there's just a couple seconds left on the clock to take that shot. And Keener now does. Deep 3, no good. And the shot clock will go off. And Preston Parker got the rebound, but no good on the putback attempt. So after 1 half of play, your score is 63-42. Sequoyah in favor. Chase, Max, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, we've said it a lot this first half. Sequoyah and Riverwood, both of their shots have been falling. Non-stop scoring, 105 points in this first half. Astonishing. But the thing is, we've said it a lot, Sequoyah has points across the board. Matthew Trainer coming in big. Fisher Mitchell hit a lot of threes in the beginning of that second quarter. And of course you have Wally, Keener, Preston Parker getting a good flow too. But really all you have consistently, at least for Riverwood, is by law. You also do have Jalen Leonard, who was alive in the beginning of the first quarter, came alive once again the end of the second quarter. If they can finally put a stop to that Sequoyah run, which they had a big one in that second quarter, they have a chance to get back in this one easily based on how amazing their offense has been playing right now.
Yeah, most definitely a high-scoring affair. Parker, Trainer, and Wally all with 13 points apiece on the Sequoyah side. And then Bilal still the high-scoring player in the matchup with 17. And I think, Max, if Riverwood or Sequoyah, either one, since they're both playing very similar games, if one of them can start to lock down on defense, they're really going to start to take advantage of the other team and really pull ahead. But that's all for this first half. We will see you in just under 10 minutes for the second half of play. Riverwood versus Sequoyah, 63-42 is the score going into the second half. We will see you in a little bit. All right, and welcome back to the Warlords for the second half of play. The Sequoyah Chiefs against the Riverwood Raiders as both the teams come out of the locker room and begin their second half warm-ups. The score is 63-42, an explosive first half for both teams. Max, tell us what you thought.
Well, Sequoyah is on pace for well over a 100-point performance. Only need 27 to get there. Easily could do it. This Sequoyah team came out shooting in that second quarter. We saw them. We've said it multiple times. Mitchell consistently hit those threes in that run in that second quarter. Trainer shocked all of us. Got 10 or 12 points. Came out firing, really putting his physicality against Bilal down low and other Raiders. And bringing up Bilal, he was the star player, the highest scorer, if I'm not wrong, on the whole court. Still, his team down 21.
Yeah, many players in double digits. And Max, stat that I think is going to be very interesting to see how this game plays out, seeing how it is playing out, is that Riverwood averages 22.1 points in the fourth quarter to Sequoiah's 19.7. So if Riverwood can have a fourth quarter like they're expected to have, it could be a very interesting game. As Sequoyah will inbound the ball, Keener with the ball now. And he'll give it to Wally. And Mitchell will give it back to Parker. And Trainer tips the ball out to get the rebound back to Parker. Parker will fire it over to Wally in the corner. Wally makes a move, step back jumper. That's his money shot right there, and he cashes it in one more time, so 65-42.
That's one of the first times we've seen his patented teardrop jumper tonight.
Yeah, we haven't seen, I think that is the first time we've seen that one. He's made some threes, but not any of those quite yet, as Karis Bilal makes a nice shot off of the high part of the glass, and Sequoyah will take the ball back. Keener will get it, throw it over to Mitchell, who gives it to Parker. Parker over to Keener. Keener now to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Parker, who has an opening but doesn't take it. Gives it to Wally, who does. And that three will be no good. Leonard able to save the ball for Riverwood. And he will dribble it down the court for them. Makes a nice inside move. The charge is not called on Wally, so Riverwood with easy 2 points. Preston Parker on the fast break is no good. Triple team there by Riverwood, and Leonard will bring the ball back. Onanu with a big three there. That's his first points of the game.
Yeah, and Jagger Onanu is usually decently high scorer, a good supplier of points for this team, finally getting on the board tonight.
And Bilal almost at the 20-point marker. And Parker will have the ball for the Chiefs, who will give it to Mitchell. Finds Parker again, who's open, goes up for a three of his own. Teases and is no good. So 65-49 your score, 6:16 left in the third quarter. And it looks like one of our lights just went out, but we will keep broadcasting nonetheless. So Keener will inbound the ball to Wally. Wally with a nice three of his own. That's no good, bounces off the back of the iron. Preston Parker's able to get the rebound, throws it back up, and that's good for a nice 2 points. So Chiefs staying with it, able to get multiple offensive rebounds on that drive and make a couple points out of it.
And Parker's up to 15. Some decent amounts of scoring across the board for Sequoyah tonight.
He's outscoring Kyle Keener, which I don't know if that's happened many times this year.
Great night for the dark horse Preston Parker.
And Leonard drives it in, bounces it off the very high glass for Riverwood. So 67-51 your score. Sequoyah on top. Wally gives it to Parker. Parker looks for an open man, finds Keener. Keener finds Mitchell in the paint. And Parker will throw it over to Keener. Keener with a big three of his own. That's no good. And it'll be Sequoyah ball once more. You know, Max, something we've seen a lot from both teams is the three-point shooting. I mean, I know we saw Karis Bilal take a lot of shots in the first half. Some that he didn't make, but a lot of them that he did. Obviously, that he had 17 points. Mitchell with a nice floater jumper, and Preston Parker able to just get one hand on it and put it back. So Sequoyah will move up to 69, and Riverwood remains at 51 with 5 minutes and 8 seconds left to go. A nice drive there from Karis Bilal. None other than Karis Bilal. Doesn't get in on the first time, so he taps it back in, and that'll put Riverwood at 53. Ooh, Wally finds Fisher Mitchell. Mitchell tries to go inside towards Harris, and it is tipped off by Harris. or no, they're going to say it's tipped off by the Raiders, so it'll remain Sequoyah ball. Keener will throw it into Wally. Wally back to Keener. Keener getting worked on by Onaunu. Wally to Harris in the corner. Throws it back over to Wally. Wally finds Mitchell down low.
And the Chiefs right now are having great communication and great movement.
Yeah, definitely good ball movement. Keener with showing off some handles. Mid-range jumper is no good. So shots not falling for Keener in this second half. He's had some good looks, but nothing doing. And Leonard tries the fast break, and that'll just miss. So it'll go the other way. Sequoiah's ball. Harris will give the ball off to Keener. And Karis Bilal at 21 points, so first man to get into the 20-point range. And the pass from Keener is intercepted by Ruben, and Ruben gives that one to Bilal.
He just lost it there.
Yeah, looks like it just got slipped out of his hand, so it'll be quickly back to the Chiefs' side of the ball. Keener sets up the troops. Gillette in the game. We'll give it to Wally. Wally over to Keener. Keener looking for an open man. Finds Wally all across the way. Wally from corner, no good. Bounces off the rim, so neither team having much fall as Bilal goes for another layup that is no good. Keener will give it to Gillette. Gillette fakes a move. Oh, nice poke pass. Nice poke away there from Bilal on Wally. Didn't seem he was behind Wally.
And you said it right, Will. Neither team are having their shots to fall right now. Kind of unlucky bounces, unfortunate hits on the rim. But this is the time of the game right now. Sequoiah's shots are not falling. Riverwood has to have something click right now. Down by 17, a couple runs here and there. They're not out of this game.
So just 3 minutes and 39 seconds left, 69-53. Sequoyah remains on top. Jalen Leonard for Riverwood will dribble it down the court, and there's going to be a call on Sequoyah, so Riverwood will remain in possession. Onaunu will inbound the ball to Bilal. Bilal's been guarded all night on by Keener. That's the matchup that stayed pretty consistent. Trainer tries to go over for the double team, leaves Ruben open, and Ruben takes an open three, so very heads-up play by Ruben to take advantage of the drawn-out defender. And Keener tries to look at a three, passes it over to Wally, who has more of an open three, and he takes it and makes it. So Wally will get to 18 points on the night, moving ahead of Parker, who was actually in the lead there for a while, at 17. And Max, with the first time out of the half, we will give our sponsors some love.
First time out of the game, Will. And our Sequoyah Chiefs basketball sponsors, gold level sponsors, Vito's Bar and Grill, and Cherokee Focus. Our gray level sponsors, Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Insight Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue and Woodstock Furniture. And our white level sponsors, Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River. Thank all of you for supporting the Sequoyah Chiefs basketball programs.
And you know, Max, something we had talked about going into halftime is how both teams had a lot of foul trouble, not necessarily foul trouble, but committing a lot of fouls and turnovers, but that hasn't been a problem in this third quarter with 3 minutes left to go. Riverwood's committed 2 and Sequoyah just the 1, so I got to imagine whatever the coaches said to the boys in the locker room worked out, and Ruben with another 3, and that will bounce off the side of the iron, and Parker will come up with the rebound. And Keener will throw it over to Parker, who throws it to Trainer. Mitchell, wide open lane, and he'll take a free basket every day of the week. So 74-56, Sequoyah on top, 2 minutes, 34 seconds left to go.
And Sequoyah must have seen something, because Riverwood kind of just stood there. 3 defenders surrounding Fisher Mitchell and kind of just stood still.
Onaunu attempted 3. That's an air ball. Sequoyah will get the easy rebound, and it looks like they're going to say Trainer stepped out of bounds trying to pick up the pass from Keener. So it'll be back to Riverwood's ball. Not as much scoring so far in the second half as there was in the first half. 105 points combined were scored. And Onaunu with another 3 of his own. That one will bounce off the side of the backboard. Not even close on that one. Trainer gives it to Keener. Keener with an open 3, and he makes that. So he'll get up to 15 points. All of Sequoia's people on the court have double digits, with 11 being the least. And a nice move attempted there from Bilal. Unfortunately, no good. You know, that's something that we've seen. I think Bilal maybe just a little out of rhythm here. That's his third or fourth layup, Max, that we've seen that he had a good look. It just didn't go in.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of just had Fisher Mitchell right in his way there. He was called for the foul.
And speaking of out of rhythm, Bilal will miss a free throw. So after making 4 points early to get him to 21, he has remained scoreless for most of this third quarter with 1:48 left to go. 77-56. Sequoyah Chiefs on top of the Riverwood Raiders. And Bilal will make that next free throw. So he'll move to 22. And Sequoyah will dribble it back down the court. Keener will give it to Wally at the elbow. And Trainer fires it back to him. Keener again with the ball. Gives it to Wally. Finds Parker, the open man. Throws it cross court over to Wally, who gives it down to Harris, who goes for a little jumper there, no good. Parker attempted the rebound and tipped off of his hand, so Riverwood will have the ball. So 77-57, your score from the War Lodge. 1:20 left to go in the third quarter of this Region 7-6A matchup. Sequoyah putting on the press, forcing Bilal to throw it over to Leonard on the backside of the 10-second line, and Leonard getting guarded on by Wally. Harris comes in for the double team, and it works. Wally able to get the ball, but tips off of him, and he dives for it. No good, so Riverwood will get possession back. But a nice little double team there. When we saw Harris running in, I think it was from the paint, and it really worked. But unfortunately, Sequoyah was not able to get the turnover on that one.
Just another good example there by Wally on that last play. Diving after balls, doing it nonstop, even though it was up by 20 late in the third quarter.
Most definitely. And Leonard will have a nice little pull-up jumper there to get Riverwood to 59. So Sequoyah at 77, Riverwood at 59. Keener with a big three, no good. His shots haven't been falling. And, you know, it's funny we say that because he still has 15 points, which is a great night for most other players. And a nice cross-court pass to Tony Brown will get Riverwood another quick two. So shot clock is invalid. Parker with a nice dribble move, and he gets a three. So he's at 20 points now. The lead scorer for Sequoyah, 80-61. Now we're starting to get some more of that explosiveness. Leonard, can he make a three? And he does. So both teams feeling it now, answering threes with under 15 seconds left to go. 80-64, Sequoyah on top. So Keener going to hold the ball until the shot clock runs out, seeing if he can get that last shot. Oh, no. He gets it stolen by Bilal. Bilal goes up for the shot. No good, but that was close. He shot at about the half-court line. So a little bit of fireworks there at the end of the third quarter moves the score to 80-64. So it was looking a little quiet there for the better part of the third quarter. But both teams able to find their rhythm once more at the end there.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. That was kind of a quiet quarter. Well, 17 points for Sequoyah. For some teams, that might be considered a decent quarter, but compared to the whole first half, that's kind of minuscule. It's at 17 points with Riverwood scoring 22. So Riverwood definitely won that quarter. And not just on the scoreboard, it seemed like they had most of their shots was falling. It seemed like they kind of drove the lane more and had more physical opportunities, while Sequoyah kind of remained on outside the arc like they had this whole game, except most of their shots weren't falling. So it seemed kind of lesser than the first half for Sequoyah.
And you know, Max, we've talked about how Kyle Keener has kind of been off tonight, but we mentioned he has 15 points, which for any other player would be a wonderful night. But for Keener, we know he's a guy that's able to score consistently in the 20s, which he's not far off of. But with the amount of shots that he's taking, we would have thought that he would have been making more. He's missed a few threes, but I mean, he's still having a really good night, as well as all the other Chiefs. Parker and Trainer both with a couple fouls each. Connor Harris with one, but Wally and Keener sitting at 0 fouls, so that's got to be good going into the fourth quarter. And remember, Max, something I had mentioned coming into the second half is that Riverwood averages more points a quarter than Sequoyah does. And with Riverwood outscoring Sequoyah in the third quarter, it could be a different game. Riverwood could really get back in this, as Sequoyah will have the ball. Connor Harris down in the corner, tries to give it to Trainer, and the ref will say it went off of Trainer, so Riverwood will get the ball. And I didn't even realize this, but Leonard got 20 points as well for Riverwood.
Wow, he's skyrocketed up there. I was about to say Parker. We've talked about him a little bit, but he's had a great game.
Yeah, and Wally only a couple away from 20 as well.
That's what you're going to get when you have an 80-64 game.
Yeah, most definitely. So Garrett goes up for the three, and that's no good. And Wally in the corner will have a call, so Riverwood will get the ball. So 7:27 left to go in the fourth quarter. 80-64, no scores yet in this fourth quarter of play. Leonard with a pull-up three of his own. That's no good. We saw him make one at the end of the third quarter. And Brown tries to go up for the putback attempt. And Parker will get the rebound on the fast break, and he'll choose to dribble the ball, but it looks like they're going to call a double dribble on him, so Riverwood will get the ball.
Yeah, uncharacteristic there for Parker this game. Haven't seen many mistakes by him. Obviously, he's had a 20-point ball game. Not many missed shots, not many travels, not many calls on him.
Yeah, he's definitely capitalized on almost every opportunity he had. And Bilal takes up a three, and Brown is able to get another rebound. Throws it over to Ruben. Ruben with a nice corner three of his own. That's not the first one we saw. We saw him take advantage of a double team and have an open three earlier. I believe it was in the early part of that third quarter. So it'll be 67-80, Sequoyah, or in favor of Sequoyah.
And Ruben's got 8, and it's a 13-point ball game now.
Yeah, it's definitely getting closer. Sequoyah going to have to start putting some more points on the board as Trainer finds it down low and gives it down to Harris. Harris unable to find his first points of the game. And Leonard will take the ball down for Riverwood. Gives it over to Ruben. Heat check. And he gets one as he misses his first three of the night. And Wally, wide open three, does not get it. Parker gets the rebound. Putback attempt is no good. But they are going to give him some free throws.
And we've seen Parker at the line a decent amount of times tonight. Got generated a decent amount of his points from the line.
And after the girls' game where there was almost no fouls, it really surprised us to see how many fouls were committed in the first half alone. But again, that's something that both teams have really toned down here in the second half. I think we only saw maybe 3 or 4 total from both teams as Parker makes his first free throw. So both teams have done a better job of that. And it hasn't been nearly as explosive in scoring as it was in the first half. And Parker will make that second one. So it'll be 82-67 in favor of Sequoyah. 6 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter of play.
And just look at that scoreboard for Sequoyah. Double digits on all players who are in right now.
Yeah, well into the double digits too. And it looks like there's going to be a whistle on the near side of Riverwood's court. So they will inbound it. Leonard to Bilal. Bilal getting worked on by Parker. He'll find Garrett, I believe that is. And a little mix up with Trainer in the corner there, so think he got, yes, he did get fouled, so Bilal will be sent to the line, and Trainer will get his third foul of the night. Or no, excuse me, he's not sent to the line. Sorry, it looked like they were lining up for a free throw. So 5 minutes, 46 seconds left to go. 82-67. Sequoyah is on top. And Leonard throws it in. But I think they're going to call
a foul on Parker on that steal right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
I think he might have pushed him in the air.
I guess. I'm not sure. But either way, it'll be Riverwood ball. And another quick whistle will give Riverwood the ball again. So a batted pass by Parker does no good as it rolls out of bounds. And the refs are going to say that it went off Wally. So Riverwood will get the ball once more. So about 4 whistles in the matter of 20 seconds there. So Bilal with the ball now. Working on Parker. He goes up for the basket, and another whistle against Sequoyah. And it looks like Trainer nursing that knee a little bit, but he'll be all right. He gets up.
Seems to be hurting right now, but that was a very aggressive drive by Bilal.
And Bilal will make his first free throw.
Hopefully Trainer's okay. Heading to the bench now for Connor Harris.
And Bilal will make his second free throw. So 82-69 your score with 5 minutes and 22 seconds left to go after almost 6 whistles in 25 seconds. We'll get back to some basketball, and Wally will go attempt a three, no good. Harris with the rebound, but gets it taken away by Leonard. So Leonard will move the Raiders down the court quickly, gives it to Ruben, who gives it right back to him. Harris on Leonard is the matchup. Leonard looking for somebody to pass it to. Looks like down low. He called Ruben off. And Bilal now has it at the top of the key. He's on, Wally's on him. Garrett moving around down low, looking for something to make of it. Bilal up for three, an absolute drain shot. There was 2 guys right on him, and doesn't matter for him. He'll make it anyway.
And that's a 10-point ball game, Will.
Yeah, it's getting close down here. I mean, I think most people thought that Sequoyah necessarily might walk away with it, but certainly wouldn't be having as much trouble as they would be, considering what their last game was, 92-71, as Wally goes to the line. And his first free throw will toilet bowl out. So Wally's still at 18 points, hasn't been able to get one in this fourth quarter, I believe. Wow. Karis Bilal at 27 points. He's having quite a night for Riverwood.
Phenomenal game.
And Wally will make his second free throw of the game. And with the second time out of the game, Max, we will throw it over to some sponsor reads.
Of course, Will. Our Sequoyah Chiefs basketball sponsors are gold level sponsors, Beatles Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus. Our gray level sponsors, Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue and Woodstock Furniture. And our white level sponsors, Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barber Shop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River. Thank all of you for supporting the Sequoyah Chiefs basketball programs.
And you know, Max, regardless of the outcome of this game, it's looking like Sequoyah is going to secure the 3rd spot in the region tournament. And the region tournament, the finishers of those is based on who goes to state. And the girls' team is pretty much a lock for 2nd place in the region. So they'll actually get a bye week for the first round of the playoffs. And then the boys' team will be the highest team, or the highest seed, excuse me, without a bye week. So they will host. So basketball is not done here. And we've had really great seasons from the girls and boys' team. 3 players get into the 1,000-point club. Blatchford did it. And she's only a junior, so she has plenty more points to score. And then Keener and Wally both got into the 1,000-point club. So definitely a highlight season, the best team I know the boys have had in
definitely in
recent
a long
years.
Time.
So a lot to look forward to and a lot to celebrate at the end of this season for sure, as Sequoyah will get the turnover thanks to a Preston Park block there. And Keener will dish it to Harris in the corner, who attempts a 3, and Wally drives in, unable to get the basket, and Bilal up for a nice 2-pointer. Did he just dunk that?
I think he might have done a slight dunk there.
Well, there's an exclamation point. And Wally tries to answer with a 3, but that's no good. I'm not sure if that was a dunk or not.
But it is a close game, 9 points, and they have the ball right now.
Yeah, I mean, Sequoyah really needs to start playing some defense. Bilal with a 3, no good. Bilal is having an insane game, 29 points. That is crazy. And there's like 3 players in the game right now who have 20 points. And Wally's only 1 away. Great
games across the board.
So very high scoring affair. Preston Parker with a pull-up 3. He gets 3 of his own. That'll move him to 25. So 86-74. Sequoyah's on top with 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go. It's a close one. Sequoyah's going to have to keep scoring and put up some good defense, as Onaunu with another 3. That's not the first one we've seen him make. That'll be his 2nd of the game with a nice corner jumper there. So 86-77, Sequoyah still on top as Mitchell finds Parker. who will dish it out to Keener. Gives it to Wally. Parker on the outside is quickly guarded by Leonard there. And Keener drives inside, no good. He's being worked on by Tony Brown. So Riverwood will take the ball the other way, 86-77, 2:39 left to go. And the whistle will be blown, and it'll be Riverwood's ball.
9-point ball game with 2:39 left. Riverwood 100% still in this ball game.
So Matthew Trainer checking back in for Connor Harris. He looks to be all right after that. He took a hard fall there and from a drive to the basket by one of the Riverwood players. And Bilal's layup is no good, so Sequoyah will take the ball the other way. You know, we've seen Bilal miss a lot of shots, but, I mean, he's taken so many opportunities that he's making a good percentage of them, too. And Trainer gets a nice physical drive. That's not the first one we've seen. Remember, he had like 3 really close to each other in that first quarter where we had a couple spin moves and then just really avoiding the defender.
And he says some words to Ruben after that play, continuing that intensity he's had all game, dropping 15.
And Wally will get the offensive rebound off of the missed Trainer free throw, and Trainer will be up to 15 points with that one. Parker finds Mitchell, and he'll give it back to Keener. Keener finds Trainer down low. Trainer goes in, tries to pass it to Parker. Tony Brown gets a hand on it, and it's going to be Riverwood's ball. So Leonard attempts to pass it, and it hits Keener, so it'll be an unintentional turnover for Riverwood, but one that Sequoyah will take regardless, as 11-point lead with 1:45 left to go. Neither team can seal the deal quite yet. They're going to have to put on some more points and really lock it down here. Mitchell will hand it off to Wally. Wally takes the open lane, and he'll lay that one up and over Zach Rubin. And Bilal will throw it across the floor to Onaunu, who gives it to Leonard. Tries a 3, that's no good, and that will go out of bounds. So 90-77, 1 minute, 18 seconds left to go. Max, we thought Sequoyah might be able to get in the 100-point club, or the 100-point mark. They still might. It's going to be a tough task, but I mean, the way they played, and both teams played in that first half, it was looking like it was going to be a very high-scoring affair. Zach Rubin with a pull-up 3, no good. He had all day, and that is not good. Bilal with a put-back attempt, fadeaway jumper, no good. Keener will dribble it down the court, and he'll be fouled by Bilal.
And yeah, in that last game, Sequoyah scored 100 points on senior night. It kind of came in the last 30 seconds. They were around 95, and a couple fouls, and while Sequoyah was in the bonus, finally led to 100 points, so it could come down to it.
Well, that's right. I remember they put like almost all the guys in on their bench, and they all hit threes like right in a row. It was pretty fast, but they got to 100, and it was pretty cool. So the clock will be under a minute now. 90-77, Sequoyah on top in this fourth quarter. Keener looking for somewhere to dish it to. Mitchell sets up a screen. Keener dribbles around it. And Keener will drive inside the bucket. Nice layup move there. Throwing his arm around the up and around the defender. And he'll go to the line for the and one.
And he's a 17 now.
So a surprise not to see Keener in the high scoring mark, but Preston Parker with a phenomenal game. He's at 25. He's been the Chiefs' high scorer. Wally's at 21. Fisher Mitchell's at 11. Mitchell hasn't scored many points in the second half. I don't think he scored any, if I'm correct, as Keener makes that free throw. Mitchell got most of his scoring done in the first half to get Sequoyah out to the early lead. And Trainer with 15 as well. So all their starters well into double digits. And Bilal will now dribble it down. Big drive and similar move to Keener. And same result will be another 2 points. So 93-79. Chiefs on top. The shot clock is void, so that's good news for the Chiefs. Wally will give it to Mitchell. Mitchell to Parker. Parker looking for something to do with it. He tries to make a move inside. It's no good. Oh, nice swat away by Zach Rubin. The intended receiver was Matthew Trainer. And if it wasn't for the outstretched arm of Zach Rubin, that might have been another bucket for Sequoyah.
Rubens has had a good game, too. 8 points. Some of his threes have come in clutch times for Riverwood. However, it does not seem like it will be enough tonight.
Just under 10 seconds to go now as Sequoyah has the ball 93-79. Wally will hold the ball, and the student section will start clapping as both teams are content to end the game right there. So your final score from the War Lodge, 93-79. Your final home game of the season, of the regular season. We still have postseason games to go, so don't go anywhere. Max, it was a great effort by Riverwood, but ultimately I think Sequoyah was the better team, and they were just able to outlast them.
Yeah, they really were, and they were able to get lots of scoring across the board. We look at the scoreboard, every single player in double digits, 2 in the 20s and 1 right near it. It's just scoring shot after shot, bucket after bucket. It was phenomenal to see Preston Parker get 25, but give props to Bilal, 31. A heck of a night for Bilal. It was a great, entertaining game, scoring throughout the whole matchup. That was a great game to watch.
I don't know who we could even start to decide to give the player of the game award to. I mean, Bilal obviously with 31, that's quite an impressive feat. Parker with 25, Wally with his usual 21, and also Jalen Leonard, who had 20, didn't get many points in the second half, but he was able to get to the 20 mark. A great result, a great effort by both teams. It was really a fun game to watch, as well as the girls' game. And I think as we wrap up the regular season games here on Chiefs TV, we just want to say thank you for tuning in to all the games. And, yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, tuning in, and everything.
See you all in the postseason.
Yeah, we will.
Both teams should host a postseason game. We'll see y'all then.